Hello and welcome to a new series, new game, as you guys have all voted for and willing to try out for some new content for the channel. We're always going to be Call of Dragons, don't you worry. But this is going to be called Whiteout Survival. You want to check it out, you can download it. I am going to be in State 201, as you can see here. And being in State 201, you can obviously join. And if you obviously make a profile and you power up, give us a message. You can join the alliance. It's going to be really cool. But we're going to go over what is White Survival. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. This is the intro to it. We're going to go over everything basically in the game. So we've been playing it for a few days now. So we've got a good understanding of what's to come. So strap in, grab your popcorn, and I hope you enjoy today's video. So, Whiteout Survival, what is it? It is a mobile game. You can download it on BlueStacks as well if you've got that type of emulator. I'm playing it, as you can see, on the mobile right now in front of you guys as we're going to go through this video. So, basically, it is a kingdom building game. So it's the exact same as playing something like Rise of Kingdoms, Lord of the Rings, Call of Dragons, Infinity Kingdom, where you have your main base at the, you're going to build up and level up over time. You're going to have some types of troops that you're going to be training, as well as your research tech, as well as in this game, you're going to have your heroes. So the cool thing with this game, as you can see, and the aesthetics of this is all about the cold. It's about living in Antarctica. So if you've ever played a game kind of like, I think it's called Frostpunk on the Steam, it might give you that similar type of vibes. And I think that is why I've kind of fallen in love with it. The cool thing with this is you have your furnace, which is your main city hall in this game, which is what you're going to be upgrading as your main building to allow you to unlock new buildings as well as troops and that tech. The cool thing is what you can do is see the furnace has a status, and this basically increases the happiness of your basically workers, which is kind of a crazy mechanic in the game. But yes, you can make your workers happier by hitting max power, and as you can see, it's got a cool animation. It does cost a little bit more coal to run, but it means your city is as warm as it can be. So as you can see at the very top right now, it is lowering that temperature from what it was, and if we press it off, again, it's -40, so it's very, very cold for them, right? So the benefit, obviously, is to make your workers happy, as any other game is. You have your work huts, which is going to be your iron mine. You've got your different hunter's hut. You've got your coal mine, and you've got your sawmill. In this game, which is really cool, the way the buildings work is you have your refugee or survivors that keep coming in through the cold that you might have found, and some of them might even fall sick and die, so you might have to try and recruit new ones, which passively happens in this game. But you put these members in your huts and they're gonna basically work for you, and that's who you're trying to make happy. The happier they are, it does give them a little bit of a bonus during the end phase, which we're going to talk about in a little bit of time. So when we go into here now, we can again look at the buildings, and the way the buildings upgrade as well is very different compared to some other games. So all of your resource buildings that are in charge, obviously, of building resources, or any of your buildings which are called your shelters, and these are the buildings that are in charge of your villagers. So this is where all of those cool little villages that you've been saving, as you can see, these survivors, these are where they rest and sleep on a night when they are not working, because obviously this game has a really cool day and night cycle to it. But to upgrade these buildings, you do need to actually upgrade individual stuff on them for these specific ones. So by upgrading, as you can see, across all the way for this moment to get a level 9 to a level 10, which is the final level of a shelter, just to let you guys know that. So if you're looking at this game and figuring, whoa, what are these crazy levels? By increasing, as you can see, these stats here, these are increasing how good this building actually is. This also increases the stats required for your workers, meaning your workers will do so much time, generate so much income, go to sleep, and it reduces that amount of time so they can go back out and do even more farming. So by upgrading the beds, as you can see, that was required, the percentage meter upgraded up, and we can now just hit upgrade, and just by pressing the help icon, which is another feature like most games has from the Alliance, this is going to finish very quickly, as you can see on screen right now. So those are like your main buildings in your like shelter, as well as like your resource side. So this is basically your eco side of your village, and it's a really cool little bit as well. You've got your storehouse, which is in charge of like food and stuff like that, as well as your hospital as well. But when we go down here, this is where the stuff starts to get more interesting. This is where we're going to start talking about two different things about the game, which is the combat styling as well as the troops. So the troops in this game is really, really crazy when you first play it, because in this game there is tier 10 troops. You heard me right. Tier 10 troops in this game. And I've been playing this now for 5 days almost, and we have unlocked tier 7 troops. But if you're a Rise of Kingdoms player or Call of Dragons player like myself, because we are from a Call of Dragons background on this channel, you will notice every ranking of these tiers of troops are color coordinated, and this is where my brain obviously works. So you've got your tier 1 troops, that's divided in tier 1 and 2 in this game, but your tier 2 troops are your tier 3 and 4 in Whiteout Survival. Your tier 3 are tier 5 and 6. Your tier 4 are going to be tier 7 and then tier 8. And then your tier 5 units is tier 9 and 10. And as you can see, these units get bigger and bigger, and they look cooler when you look for each of their different unit types. The cool thing is, again, with this game, there is 3 only types of units in this game, which is your infantry, as well as your marksmen, as well as your lancers. And when we look into the details in here, you can see the bonuses that each of these buildings provide. And when we look at what's better than the others, the way it works is a pretty simple mechanic. The infantry are really good against the lancers are really good against the marksmen are really good against the infantry. So the way the marksmen are, they're the most versatile or the most DPS based role, and we're going to show that in a moment. Then your lancers are a medium ranged unit, and then your infantry, as you can imagine, are infantry melee based units. So when we go into this, we go look at the heroes, and the heroes, as you can see, a really, really cool hero list to pick from at the start of the game. This is all the heroes that I've been able to get so far, and you can also unlock Geronimo here, which is in a cool event, which you can imagine in Rise of Kingdoms or Call of Dragons, which is the Hall of Chiefs, which is active right now, which is a basically strongest lord, mightiest governor event that you can unlock your basically heroes in the event. When we look at the heroes, you can see there is 3 main types, which is your infantry, which is like your tank heroes, which is Sergi is a great example of. You also have your marksmen, which we were talking about, which are your guys like Barty and Chloris. You then have your lancer based heroes, which is someone like Molly as well as Jesse. And the thing is, just like any other game, you have your heroes right here, and they want to be matched with the correct unit types when they are battling in their selected fields. So how does the combat system work? So let's actually switch screens right now and talk about some of the First Impressions combat, because this is actually where a lot of the things in the game I've actually quite enjoyed about, because it gives you that little bit of time filler when you're looking for an additional game to play. So when we look at the combat, there's 2 actual systems. Yes, 2 systems so far that we've been able to play in this game for combat. You have one which is a very similar style to, I would say, Rise of Kingdoms or something like Lord of the Rings, in regards to the rally-based system. So if we go out of the arena and just check out the world for a second right now, you can see this is the map of the Whiteout Survival. And here, when you go into target stuff, it is a very simple mechanic of just clicking and hitting attack. It will select the best matches for you, but what you can do, which is a really cool tip, is hit the equalize button at the bottom, and it will choose a more appropriate amount of troops to equalize an even amount. So for example, if you're trying to fill out 4 different rallies worth of troops, you can do that right there. You can also set up your own configurations of squads at the top of that 1 and 2 if you set them up. But when you hit deploy right now, you can see it is very similar, very simple and easy. Basically mechanics to understand. You can march from your castle and it will march to the target you're going to be fighting, and that is pretty much it. You'll get a report of that fight and what happens. And what you can also do at the very top, if you've noticed where the returning bar is, you can hit the arrow and actually increase the march speed of your march. So if you're going to try and rally someone and actually hit that city and get that massive big kills and deads, and you love that type of rallying and zeroing people in Rise of Kingdoms, this is that game that you might enjoy playing, because you're going to be able to target, for example, a city like this, hit the rally button, start the rally on them, and even if it's a 15-30 minute timer and you've got the gems ready to go, you can just half it, and the next minute goes from 30 minutes to 15 to 7 minutes and a half to 3 minutes, and it just zips across. So they have to be ready if they're not going to get zeroed. So that's one of the combat systems in the game. And if we go over to the other combat system, it is called the Arena, or if you want to call it a more Sunset Canyon style of combat. So we're going to go and challenge someone here, and obviously we're over 1 million power, so we're going to try and take advantage of that power here that we have. And this showcases the formations. So you can hit the quick deploy, and you can always let the game quick deploy at those troops. You can also, again, remove any of these troops and place them down how you like. And these troops will have their own abilities, which we're going to showcase in this little section of combat, and why heroes are only single basically commanders in this game. You don't have a primary or a deputy in this game. It's just one base hero, and they have their march. So when you click fight, there's 2 options. You're going to be able to fight and let the game auto fight for you, which I'm going to allow it to do right here. So when it goes, you can see it just firing all of the skills off and killing the enemy. Really simple mechanics to do. As you can see, we won, and we've gone from rank 29 and we're now rank 17 in the server in the current season of Arena. But this is the exact same mechanic that is in the exploration. And the exploration in the game is a way you have to do, or should I say the campaign you must do, in order to actually gain the AFK aspects of this game. So even though you've seen a lot of kind of like Rise of Kingdoms activity where you've had to kind of do a lot of stuff, this game actually is more of an AFK based game. You can imagine the very start of the game, it will take a little bit longer for you to obviously not have that AFK stage, because you're going to be doing a lot of building and a lot of pushing in that power. But when you are doing it, you're going to be doing this exploration, and every time you do an exploration, you're going to get hero XP. You're going to get as well as some goodies to level up those heroes, as well as the other little bits and bats in the game. So if we click explore right here, again we can choose our heroes. We're going to hit quick deploy and see what it recommends. We're going to actually remove one of these guys and choose Barty here. He's a really cool hero that we like in this game. And when we hit fight, it's going to allow us now to take off the auto, and I'm going to be using the ability. So we're going to try and use these guys in a nice combination to allow other AoE to hit. But as you can see, I didn't do as well as the computer, right? Because I didn't get to fire it off as fast. So now it's down to just the troops that's left. So we're going to run this again and show you the difference of actually just hitting the auto button just like that, and see if we're actually able to kill this run, right? Because these are going to fire instantly. There's no waiting about. But obviously in certain aspects or certain events in this game, it might make it more understanding of why you need to fire off certain skills at certain times. But it just looks like that. We can't push any further as far as we can on the exploration. And like I said, the exploration is very important because it allows you guys to gain a load of freebies. But the most important thing about that exploration stage is it gives you the resource required to actually do your tech. And this tech tree is the same as any other tree. It has the growth, eco, and a battle tree here. And with this, you just go down, and you can imagine, like I've done on the eco tree, by just hitting ones. By hitting ones, you're going to be able to actually unlock a lot of the tree and get down to where you need to before obviously going really hard. But obviously we're going to do different guides and stuff on this. This is just showcasing again the game for you guys in a nice first look, first episode, while we've been playing it for a few days and understanding what we can do. So this is obviously, there's a lot more in the game. You've got your help center here, your command center, which is for rallying as well. But when we look at the heroes here, this is the one aspect of the game which obviously you guys are probably more worried about because of what the heroes will do, right? So the way the hero system works is pretty simple. Every time you unlock a hero, you're going to gain as many shards to that hero, similar to, I think, like Affinity Kingdoms if you've ever played that game. By getting more shards for that hero, you're going to be able to hit the arrow right here and ascend the star levels, which increases the overall stats for your march. You also can get gear, which you can see right here, and you can get this gear really easily through that exploration, which we just showed earlier. So it's a nice, easy system. It all works together, and it's all, as I can say, an AFK based combat system. So the only activity bits you need to do, and you can imagine, like maybe playing like a Rise of Kingdoms game, is using your energy points. You have 200 to use. You can rally any sort of big guy, which is like a forest gorilla in this game, and this will cost you 25. Or you can attack any of the little guys, and these will only cost 10, so you can do 20 attacks. And obviously doing each of the different type of attacks have their benefits. Right now there's an event that's allowing us to gain some possible drops from Gina's Revenge. This is an event similar to like Loha if you've played Rise of Kingdoms. So this is Whiteout Survival. I'm not going to go too crazy anymore into the video. I hope you've enjoyed the first look into the game, and maybe if you're not willing to try it, I hope you enjoy maybe watching the content that I'm providing that's also alongside all of the Call of Dragons. We're going to be covering some hero guides, and as well as guides to this game, as well as the cool concepts and alliance events such as this hunting trap, which does start in 2 hours time, that I will be recording and making some guides and videos on as well. So it's a really cool alliance event. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Smash a like, comment and subscribe if you've enjoyed today's video, and until the next one, stay safe, stay sneaky. Peace out everyone.